sure I'm recording. Oh wait, hold on. Let me make sure the screen capture is capturing the screen. Alright, there we are. Alright. Peace, everybody. Peace, y'all, in the name of Jesus. Just doing this stream so we could read through the book of Joshua, y'all. Let's hold up. This thing getting tangled up. Okay, hold up. Alright, that's a little better. Well, we here reading through the book of Joshua. I think I might have started on the first chapter on one of my last streams during the Sabbath, but it was only chapter 1, so I'm probably just gonna read through the whole thing just to get it all encapsulated in this whole Joshua, series. So before we get into anything, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everybody that's watching live and anybody who's watching, on Twitch or YouTube later on, whenever. So peace to y'all in the future. But we're gonna get into this book of Joshua real quick. And before I get into that, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna read this little overview real quick. Let's see where it's at. Alright, there we go. So, reading the book of Joshua, right? So, who read it? Or who wrote it? Unknown is usually either thought to be Joshua or Samuel. And what's it about? It's history of conquest, because you got the land of the nation of Israel, the children of Israel. At least they ain't even a nation for real just yet. They don't have any established land. They just left Egypt. They wandered through the wilderness 40 years, and they just reached the promised land, right? And it's happening in the land of Canaan, when around the 1300s BC. Let's see. Why? To assure the people that obedience to God is rewarded. Okay, so I guess it does have a lot of it does show a lot of reward for obedience, especially in Joshua, right? Like even in this first chapter, it's showing you that outline chapter. Oh, so the conquest is going to be chapters 1 through 12, dividing the land 13 through 22, Joshua's farewell 23 through 24. So let's see how I'm going to break this down. I might break down the conquest in either 3 or 4 videos. I'll probably read 4 chapters of Joshua tonight, Lord willing, again tomorrow, and then the next day, and that'll go through the conquest. And afterward, we'll figure out how we're going to allot the dividing of the land, and then we're going to do Joshua's farewell. Well, I don't know. That's only 2 chapters for real. But I don't know. I'll figure it out after this whole conquest part. And the key verse, let's see. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Right? That's Joshua 1 verse 7. I'm going to read that in King James. It says, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses, my servant, commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. I just love the way King James speaks for real. Like this, I mean, it's pretty much saying the same thing, but it just sounds kind of plain, man. Like like the KJV got that sauce on it. It got that hear ye sauce on it, you know. But let's get into this book though. Let's see, we on Joshua chapter 1, and we're gonna start this off, of course, at verse 1. And we're gonna sit here and break it down. So, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. So, Moses done died. This is after the children of Israel were wandering in the wilderness 40 years, right? And the first half that were the first half that were older than they were 20 and older, they got cut off, right? And whoever was 20, or either 20 and younger or like 19 and younger, they got to enter the land, right? So it says, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon. Wait, hold up. Oh, okay. So after Moses is dead, now we got Joshua. Joshua is the next to lead the children of Israel after Moses dies, right? So now you got Joshua. Well, you got the Lord speaking to Joshua, and he's like, "Yo, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore go over this Jordan, thou and all this people." So you and all this people, I want you to go over this river unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Verse 3 says, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given to you. So it's like God already gave this land to the folks, and they ain't even crossed the river into the land yet, right? Verse 4, from the wilderness of this Lebanon, even to the great river, the river Euphrates, and all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Right? So he said, there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. Like, he's telling Joshua, like, yo, Israel's finna be top dog in this area, right? And no man is gonna be able to stand against y'all. Y'all gonna be the most powerful nation, right? Like, you go back to the blessings in Deuteronomy 28. He said, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth, right? And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. He said, verse 7, and the Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Right? So he said he was going to bless Israel with that if we kept his commandments. So he says, like, there's not going to be any man that can stand before y'all. And continuing in verse 5, he says, as I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. So just like the Lord was with Moses, the Lord is going to be with Joshua when he leads Israel into the land. And then he goes on to say, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Verse 6, be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people thou shalt divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Okay, so now he's pretty much saying, he's pretty much telling Joshua, like when you, once you get into the land, you're gonna divide it again, divide it among the people, right? Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not to it, turn not from it to the right hand nor to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. Verse 8, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So now it's like the Lord's telling Joshua, like, look, ain't nobody gonna be able to stand before Israel, especially with you as their leader, right? But then he goes on to say, but keep this law on you. Keep this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success, right? So like this 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 prosperity wherever they go is only contingent upon observing to keep the Lord's law, right? Because then you go back to verse 7 and read into 8. It says, only be thou strong and very courageous. So yeah, be strong, be courageous, have courage, go up in this land like, yeah, this is my land, right? That thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left. So it's contingent upon this, though, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. So if you don't turn away from this law, yes, you will prosper. Like that's the only way that y'all are even gonna take out these people that live in this land, if y'all keep my law and y'all don't turn from it, right? Because later on we're gonna see that somebody didn't follow God's laws and statutes, right? And just because of their mess up, Israel couldn't take over a city, right? But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So verse 8 says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Verse 9, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host, and command the people, saying, prepare you victual. For within 3 days you shall pass over this Jordan to go in to possess the land, which the Lord your God giveth you to possess it. So now you got Joshua, he's commanding the officers, and he's like, prepare some food, right? Because in 3 days we're gonna go over this river, and we're gonna go into this land so we can possess it. So make sure you got something to eat ready. Verse 10. Hold up, let me scroll down. Verse 10 says, then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the host, and command the people, saying, oh wait, I just read that. I read it from the screen, and then I looked down at my Bible. But hey, I'm gonna keep going. Hey, pass through the host, and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan, and go in to possess the land which the Lord thy God giveth you to possess it. And to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to half the tribe of Manasseh spake Joshua, saying, remember the Lord which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God hath given you rest, and hath given you this land. So now Joshua was talking to Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh, because before Moses died, Moses led Israel into the promised land, but not the full promised land. Like he wasn't able to cross the river that Joshua was about to cross over, because on the other side of the river is the rest of the land. Like Moses only got to see just a little part of it, right? Hold on, let me go back. Mm. Dang, Moses didn't even get to go up in there. Hold up. Numbers 32. So right before Moses had died, Moses had commanded um, Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh to pretty much, once they get their inheritance of the land, that then that then they had to go ahead of their brethren and fight and help them pretty much fight and take over their lands, right? Now Moses, he didn't even get to really, he didn't even go up into the land for real, for real. Like Moses, he died outside the land. Like the Lord told him to go to the top of the mountain. It was like, look, I'll let you look at the land, but you ain't about to step foot on it though. But verse 12, it says, and unto the Reubenites and unto the Gadites and to half the tribe of Manasseh spake Joshua, saying, remember the word which Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, saying, the Lord your God hath given you rest and hath given you this land. Your wives and your little ones and your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side of Jordan. Right? Huh. I might have to reread Deuteronomy, because I'm not sure if Moses had already allotted the land to Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh, or if they just got that land after Moses had died. Well, Moses had to have had led them there, but hey, that's neither here nor there. I'll get to that bridge when we get to Deuteronomy. But but the main consensus is Moses didn't get over on the other side of Jordan, right? Like he was able to see, look at the land, behold the land from the top of the mountain, but he wasn't able to step foot on it though. But he said, your wives and your little ones and your cattle shall remain in the land. So hold up, let me maps. Actually, hold up. All right, so Moses led Israel pretty much this far, right? On this side of the Jordan River. So now they crossing it, right? So he said, pretty much for Reuben, Gad, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, right? This is East Manasseh. The other half of Manasseh is going to be over here. But he told these three to go on this side of the Jordan and help the rest of them get their land, pretty much. And he told the wives, the children, and the cattle, hey, keep them back here, back in Gad, East Manasseh, and Reuben, right? Now we have verse 15. It says, "Until the Lord have given your brethren rest." So pretty much now until your brethren, the rest of the 12 tribes of Israel, can pretty much rest in their land. You know, they don't have to do any more fighting or anything like that. Once all that stuff's done, then you know, y'all job's done. So he said, "Until the Lord have given your brethren rest, as he has given you, and they have possessed the land which the Lord your God hath given them. Then shall you return unto the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses the Lord's servant gave you on this side Jordan toward the sun rising." And they answered Joshua, saying, "All that thou commandest us we will do, and whithersoever thou sendest us we will go. According as we hearken unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee. Only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses." So Reuben, Gad, Manasseh, they all like, all right, whatever you say, we'll do. And we're going to listen to you just like we listen to Moses, right? Only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. Verse 18, "Whosoever he be that doth rebel against thy commandment, and will not hearken unto thy words in all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of a good courage." So whoever doesn't listen to the words of the Lord and decides to rebel, he shall be put to death. Like the Lord don't want no rebels. Even when he comes back, he's gonna have his people in the wilderness again, and he's gonna purge the rebels from the wilderness, just as he did the first time. He said that whoever was 20 and older and rebelled against me, y'all ain't gonna make it through this wilderness. Y'all ain't gonna make it to the promised land. And they did not, except Joshua, the son of Nun, and I think what's his name, Caleb. They were the only two that made it, that were over 20. So going forward in chapter 2, hold on, let me get this real quick. Bow. Chapter 2, it says, "And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go, view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there." So now Joshua is sending 2 men to go into Jericho and spy out the land, see where we can enter, where we can exit, things of that nature, just general spy stuff. And when they went, they came to the house of a harlot named Rahab. Now, a harlot is a prostitute, or in common terms, a hoe. And they came to her house, not sure why, but they ended up there somehow. And verse 2, it says, "And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country." So I guess somebody of Jericho caught wind that there was 2 spies, and now they're telling the king of Jericho, like, yo, there's some spies in the land, right? "And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab." So maybe somebody has seen the 2 spies around Rahab's area, or something like that. And it says, "The king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country." So this king's like, look, where's the men that came to you earlier? Those 2 were spies, and they come in to search out the land. "And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I wot not. pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up unto the roof, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. So now she's pretty much like she hid the men at her house. She hid them up on the roof. But when the king's men when the king's men came to Rahab, she was like, yeah, there came some men here, but I don't know where they at. You know, around the time it was getting dark, they left. So why don't you chase after them? They went that way, and you might find them. But she was really hiding them up on the roof under some flax. Verse 7, it says, and the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof, and said unto the men, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land be faint because of you. So now them folks left, and she's going back up to pretty much give the it's all clear. And now she's pretty much saying, look, I know that the Lord has given you this land. So, like, I know the Lord has given you this land, and pretty much everyone in this country is scared of y'all for some reason, right? Verse 10, we're going to see that reason. It says, for we have heard how the Lord have dried up the river of the Red Sea for you. Like, everybody heard of that. In the 40 years that they were walking in the wilderness, Israel's name was starting to be known to the people, right? She said, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came up out of Egypt, and what ye did to the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. Verse 11, and as soon as we heard these things, our heart did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in man. So once they heard these, they were scared of Israel, right? Like right now I'm watching Vinland Saga, right? And you see how all these other nations are afraid of the Danes. You know, they look at the Danes and they be like, oh, those are barbarians. You know, they look upon the Danes and they just see ruthless kill. That's how they was looking at Israel. Like, and even to a bigger extent, because when have you ever heard a sea just splitting for a nation of people? Like, that's even more power than some Vikings, bro. Like, we got somebody who could split the whole sea, and y'all talking about throwing some axes or something. Never mind me, y'all. But dang. Oh, okay. So continuing in verse 11, right? It says, as soon as we heard these things, our heart did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord, your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have showed you kindness, that you will also show kindness unto my father's house and give me a true token. So now she's pretty much bargaining with them, like, look, since I saved you, promise me when y'all take this country, y'all gonna save me, you know, save me, my family, anyone under my father's household, right? And give me a true token, and that you will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. And the men answered her, our life for yours, if ye utter not this our business. So pretty much like yeah, our life for yours. If anything happens to you, that blood is on us. Only if you don't tell our business to nobody, right? And it shall be, when the Lord hath given us the land, that we would deal kindly and truly with thee, Verse 15. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, Go ye to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you. So she said, Go to the mountain, because she sent them toward the river Jordan. And now she's telling them, look, go toward the mountain, unless those pursuers, the ones that I told to look for you, you know, before they find you, go the opposite direction. And hide yourself there 3 days until the pursuers be returned, and afterward ye may go your way. And the men said unto her, We will be blameless of this thine oath, which thou hast made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by. And thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee. So pretty much like they said, okay, when we come to this land, I want you to tie this rope that you let us out this window with, tie it to the window, right? And bring whoever you want to save, bring them into this house, right? And it shall, my bad, y'all. I was trying to think of something real quick, but verse 19 it says, And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any man be upon him. Right? And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath, which thou hast made us swear. Right? So the way I'm thinking about it is it was low key like a kind of like a it kind of resembled Passover, the way I'm thinking about it, because you know, like with the Passover, if you didn't want the angel of death to come in, to come in to and kill the firstborn in your house, you had to put that blood on your doorpost as a sign, right, and as a token. And now these spies, they telling Rahab almost the same thing, not no blood, but hey, tie this scarlet cord to your window, right? And bring whoever you want to save, bring them under that household. And when we see that cord, we'll pass over that house, right? Verse 20, and if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit or acquitted of thine oath with that which thou hast made us to swear. And she said, According to your word, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came unto the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not. Verse 23. So the two men returned and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun, and told him all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, Truly the Lord hath delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. So now you see the spies, they going back to Joshua, and the spies are pretty much telling Joshua, look, man, these folks scared of us. Everybody are. Everybody is, I mean. And they said unto Joshua, Truly the Lord hath delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. Now let's get into chapter 3. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan. And he and all the children of Israel lodged there before they passed over. So now they came to the Jordan, right? And they passed. Oh, they're about to pass over Jordan, right? First, Joshua sent the spies. Now they're about to actually pass over. And he and all the children of Israel and lodged there before they passed over. Verse 2. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host, and they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, the priests the Levites bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place and go after it. So now he's telling the children of Israel, like, look, when you see the ark of the covenant being carried by the Levites, I want y'all to go behind them, walk behind them, right? Then ye shall remove from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be, yet there should be a space between you and it. Okay, so the Levites pretty much give the Levites a little head start, right? There should be a space between you and it, 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye may know by the way which ye must go. For ye have not passed this way heretofore. So pretty much God is about to give the Levites direction. And he's telling the rest of Israel, like, look, stay back a little bit. I don't want you to get too far up on these Levites. Look, stay back a little bit so you can see where they're going, because you haven't been in this land before. So he's pretty much going to show them where to go. Verse 5. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant, and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant, and went before the people. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. So now the Lord's pretty much talking to Joshua, and he's like, look, I'm about to put you up on this pedestal, low key. Like, Israel's about to follow you for real, just like they follow Moses, because they about to see that God's with you. Verse 8, it says, and thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water, ye shall stand still in Jordan. So when the Levites get to the water, stand still in the water. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come thither and hear the words of the Lord your God. Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passes before you into Jordan. Now, therefore, take ye 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of every tribe of man. Right? Verse 13. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of my bad, let me start from the top. It says, and it shall come to pass, as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon an heap. And it shall come to pass, when the people remove from their tents to pass over Jordan, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as they bear the ark, and as they that bear the ark came unto Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped into the brim of the water, for Jordan overfloweth all his banks all the time of harvest, that the rivers which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap very far from the city Adam, that is beside Zaratan, and those that came down toward the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until the people were passed clean over Jordan. So now you got the Levites, they standing in the water, and the way I'm seeing it in my head, it's like it's kind of on a hill. So, you got the water coming down on an incline, and the Lord's telling the Levites, hey, all right, Levites, y'all stand in the water, hold this ark, And as they're holding this ark and standing in the water that's coming down like this is just it's just stopping there. Like he's pretty much splitting the sea over again, right? And the water's just coming from this way and it's just slowly standing up. He said it was gonna gather upon heaps, right? So he's causing the children of Israel to go again over dry land. First it was the Red Sea, now it's the River of Jordan, right? Now let's get into chapter 4. Chapter 4, and that should be it for me for the night. Let me show you. What up, Sherm boy? You trying to say what's up to the stream? It ain't about you, but you trying to make it about you, ain't you? Alright, so let's get into this last chapter. It says, and when it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, so once all the people got over the land, the river of Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe of man, and command them, saying, take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place, where ye shall lodge this night. Right? So he's pretty much telling 12, pretty much one person out of each tribe, hey, get you a stone and bring it with us, right? Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel out of every tribe of man. And Joshua said unto them, pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan, and take ye up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, what mean ye by these stones? That ye shall answer them, that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, when it passed over Jordan, and the waters were cut off, and the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. So pretty much he told these 12 folks to get 12 stones and bring them on this side of Jordan that they're going to, and they're pretty much going to set up those 12 stones as a memorial, so that whenever somebody comes in the future, you know, and asks about it, they can be like, yeah, this is the place where the Lord cut off the river, right? Like he pretty much water bended the river and just made it stop, right? So these stones are pretty much going to be for a memorial, right? And hold up, this made me think of something. Just I meant mud. Hmm. So this is how I imagine the freaking. I can't with the dub, yo. But this is how I imagine. That's how I imagine the water being cut off though. Like it's flowing from this central point, but it's cut off before the ark of the Lord. So it's just standing right there on heaps. But that's all I wanted to get from that. But let's keep going though. I don't even remember what verse I left off at, but it said, I'm gonna keep going to verse 7. Then you should answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it was passed over Jordan, the waters were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. Right? And the children of Israel did so as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, as the Lord spake unto Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them unto the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. So now they took them to the place that they set up for the night, right? And that's where they laid these stones. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day. Verse 10, for the priests which bear the ark stood in the midst of Jordan, until everything was finished that the Lord commanded Joshua to speak unto the people, according to all that Moses commanded Joshua. And the people hasted and passed over. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over, that the ark of the Lord passed over, and the priests in the presence of the people. So now once the people passed over, then the ark came behind them, right? And the Levite, the ark and the Levites in the presence of the people. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel. So the first ones to cross over were Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, and then the rest of the tribes of Israel. Then the Ark of the Covenant and the Levites. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before the Lord unto battle to the plains of Jericho. Verse 14. On that day the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life. And the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, command the priests that they bear the ark of the testimony, that they come up out of Jordan. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, come ye up out of Jordan. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come up out of the midst of Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up unto the dry land, that the waters of Jordan returned unto their place and flowed all over his banks as they did before. So now, once the priests got out, hey, the water's coming back out now. It's flowing like usual. Verse 19, and the people came up out of Jordan on the earth. Oh, let me start over. It says, and the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan, which Joshua did, and those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan, did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, when your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, what mean ye these stones? Then shall ye let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried up the rivers of Jordan from before you, until ye were passed over. And as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us, even until we were gone over. So when you set these stones up and and your children ask about these stones, what are these stones here for? Then you tell them these are here because this represents when the Lord dried up the waters of the Jordan River, just like he did the Red Sea until we went over it. Verse 24, that all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord that is mighty, that ye might fear the Lord your God forever. All right. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. We just got through with chapter 4. So Lord willing, next time we'll get 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you know what? I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 through 14. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And I thank you for your time. And as I leave you with, usually, one man plants, another man waters, but it's the Lord that gives the increase. Peace, y'all.